on a few things. One, I've been talking to people that I know who really know a lot about sports, like sports commentators. I talked specifically to a couple guys. I know one guy that works for ESPN, another guy that works for Fox Sports, because I wanted to figure out what was the situation with Kaepernick, before he started kneeling. Because somebody mentioned to me that Kaepernick started kneeling, like as part of his negotiation with the 49ers, that he had this $126 million contract he was protecting. And when it looked like his contract wasn't going to get renewed or he was going to get cut, because they had benched him, I guess, because he wasn't really performing at the same level, that the racial thing kind of began after that, like sort of drawing attention to a racial issue kind of protected his contract. And because and then other little things about injuries, sort of saying, oh yeah, I'm injured, I have to get surgery, because they can't cut a player that's injured or something as part of the collective bargaining agreement. So I started sort of seeing these little things that made me feel, that confirmed an initial suspicion I had from the beginning, that a lot of Kaepernick's actions are driven by money. In fact, I mean, that's the whole reason why Kaepernick has been so quiet, right? Kaepernick doesn't talk about a lot of what's been going on, mainly because of the money, right? Because of his lawsuit. So I never liked that. I always felt that, if you let them buy your silence, I don't really know what kind of activist that makes you. I don't know if that's a good standard for our community, where our supposed greatest activists are sitting there like statues and being quiet and not saying a word, about the issues that matter the most to Black people. But then it was sort of like, I didn't want to be too hard on him either. I didn't want to be unfair. And I didn't want it to be unfair to Jay-Z either, in the sense that, okay, if Jay-Z makes this partnership and he really wants to do the right thing, who says that he can't do the right thing? And who says that he needs Kaepernick's permission in order to do that, right? What really saddened me for sure is the fact that, the culprit, whenever Black people end up disagreeing, typically the culprit is white supremacy. There's usually something going on where there's a white guy that's able to pull the strings that's causing Black people to fight. The NFL is that Wizard of Oz, right? And which is why, I believe Black athletes should have their own league. The people that started the NFL didn't have even a fraction of the money that Jay-Z, Kaepernick, and all these multi-million-dollar Black people have in their bank account. So I don't see why you can't think on that level. It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so I would say that, one, Kaepernick and Jay-Z are two guys that I truly believe really care about the Black community. Let me say this. I do believe that. I do believe both of them care about Black people, and I respect that. But I also believe that both of these guys care about their own bank accounts as much, if not more, than they care about the Black community. Why? Well, because Kaepernick sold his voice, for these legal settlements, and he has the Nike deal, and I believe that, and again, remember, if I'm not mistaken, Kaepernick wasn't kneeling before he started playing poorly and thought he was going to lose his contract, right? All the kneeling and all that, from what I understand, from what people have said to me that I've talked to, I've talked to a friend I have on Fox Sports and another guy I know at ESPN, from what I've gathered, the kneeling started after Kaepernick, after his play started declining. So that kind of made me think, okay, were you trying to make this more racial because you were going to protect your 126 million? I mean, that's a lot of money. Most of us don't know, what it's like to have a $126 million contract. Like, if you ever get that feeling, God bless you, because that's a ton of money. So who wouldn't, engage in whatever shenanigans are necessary to protect $126 million? That is a ton of money, right? So I think that for both of these guys, the money is so big that you can't really sort of look at things as they appear to be. There's always a secondary game being played at a lower level, and I feel that both of them are playing a different game at a lower level. I don't even think it's a matter of saying one guy's a good guy, one guy's a bad guy. Both of them are good. Both of them could be better, in terms of, doing some things that a lot of us can't relate to. I've seen other reports like, Jay-Z told Jermaine Dupri not to take that deal, and Jay-Z told artists not to perform at the Super Bowl and blah, blah, blah. And that undermines, the idea that he's actually there to make a difference. I don't buy into any of that, because I feel like a guy like Jay-Z has a lot of enemies already. So people are going to use this as an opportunity to jump all over him, no matter who they are, right? So and I know this. I've seen this in my own life. I see it in the lives of other people. If you ever want to have a bunch of haters, just go out and become more successful than everybody else. Then you're going to have people that just get mad at you because you woke up that morning. So I don't pay attention to that. But I do think that Jay-Z, being the capitalist that he is, I do believe he is a person that can be bought. Remember, he got bought by the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets, I don't think they made a good deal with the community. The community might have got a little something out of that arena, but I don't think they got what they deserved. And Cornel West directly told me, over a 6-hour period of conversation that we had, he told me that Jay-Z's signing with the Nets is what kept them from being able to move forward in their demands that the community actually get more out of the deal. Like that was, that came from him. But again, Cornel West is a guy who doesn't really, he's not a business guy. He's not a money guy. He's a little idealistic, and he's, I think even socialist to some extent. I'm not going to speak on exactly what he is. I got to go look it up. But I think he's more to the left. He's very far to the left. So people to the left, they tend to undervalue what you can actually do when you have money in your bank account. So I think Jay-Z can be a good economic activist. I think that Colin Kaepernick also has played an important role in helping the community. Even though he might have kneeled for his own reasons, he still didn't have to do it. He still didn't have to do that, right? I do believe that he believes the things that he believes. But where I think Kaepernick came up short is having this expectation that Jay-Z needed to get his permission before he went to go deal with the NFL, that Kaepernick is like Jesus, and to get to the NFL, you must go through me, right? People say to get to God, you got to go through Jesus, and for Cap to feel that people have to go through him to get to the NFL, that would lead me to say, well, why is that? Why do you feel that people can only deal with the NFL if they go through you? Is it because you're protecting the cause, you're protecting the community, or is it because you're protecting your job? Like, are you upset that the NFL, could you put that in the freezer for me, back? Thank you. Are you just upset that the NFL won't hire you, and you've literally expected, 40 million black people to get behind this idea that we will not support the NFL until Kaepernick gets a job? Kaepernick getting a job is not going to change my life. Kaepernick getting a job is going to change his life, because Kaepernick is the one who has the $126 million contract. And the idea that activism cannot happen without Kaepernick receiving justice is a flawed concept. Activism can happen without Kaepernick being involved at all. Nicole Price, who's a leadership expert, came on my YouTube channel not too long ago, and she basically said, when a company, and people don't understand, is when you work for an employer and you sue the employer, they're not going to deal with you anymore. You're toxic at that point. They're never going to hire you for anything, right? They don't want you in the building because they're afraid of the liability of having you around. So they might, but at the same time, they may go deal with somebody just like you who isn't going to, file a $100 million lawsuit or whatever, right? So those are my thoughts on it. People got mad at me for both. I mean, I had people that supported Kaepernick who were mad at me. I had people that supported Jay-Z who were mad at me. And that's fine. That's what's supposed to happen. You do critical analysis. Everybody ain't going to be happy. But that's what I see. I think Jay is still, I don't think Jay's garbage. I think Jay-Z still wants to do some good for the world. I don't think this deal is going to really make a difference for black people. Honestly, I think it's just, some old window dressing. But really, if you want to fight on the issue of police brutality, I don't think fighting the NFL is going to keep black people from being shot. If you want to go fight on that issue, let's go fight with some lawsuits. Let's go fight with these police departments. Let's go deal with that. I don't really know what fighting the NFL is really going to do in terms of solving the actual core problem. Fighting with the NFL, all that does is make sure Kaepernick gets his job back. And Kaepernick getting his job back helps Kaepernick. It doesn't help anybody else. Now let's see. Somebody says that's because he's a narcissist. Jay-Z or Kaepernick? I don't know. I don't know if they're narcissists, but I think Kaepernick lost a lot of his street cred by basically, not talking. I think when you're just tweeting, that comes off as kind of a cowardly act to people, and people don't care if you're like protecting your money, like, oh well, he can't talk because of his money. Well, yeah, you're securing the bag. That's what Jay-Z's doing, securing the bag. So everybody's securing the bag. So if he's securing the bag, then and you're securing the bag, then okay, fine. That's what we're all doing. We're all securing the bag. Is that what this is all about? Okay, fine. So I think that's where we kind of have to be cautious, because when you're up here riding on your moral, self-righteous high horse and saying, Jay-Z's a complete sellout because he took money from the NFL. Remember, all the players, Eric Reed, who Kaepernick retweets on a regular basis, Eric Reed gets his income from the NFL. Colin Kaepernick is begging for a job from the NFL. Jay-Z just happens to be the guy, the Negro who got the best job out of the three of them, but they're all kind of in the same boat for the most part, except maybe you could argue Jay-Z just doesn't need the money, so Jay-Z could have walked away from the deal, right? Which would have opened the door for Kaepernick to go get his money, right? But either way, everybody's trying to go secure a bag, and that's what I'm seeing from my point of view. I'm not sitting here trying to say that I'm right about this. I'm just trying to say that it doesn't feel right, in the sense that none of these Negroes are Martin Luther King. Let's just be clear. None of these guys is Malcolm X or Muhammad Ali or any of that. Muhammad Ali, if you remember, Muhammad Ali, you could have told him you'll lose $10 million if you open your mouth again, and Muhammad Ali would have kept talking. Muhammad Ali would not have cared. Or you could, Muhammad Ali was offered a Jay-Z type of deal where they said, look, just come into the military. You won't even have to fight. We just need you to symbolically have a presence so that we can squash this movement out here of people that are against the war. If you just come along and just don't say a word, just shut up and dribble, or shut up and box, we won't make you go out on the front lines. We won't make you do what all these other people are doing. You just have to sort of be the symbol that helps us to appear to have unity with people that look like you. And Ali said, no, I will not participate in that. I will not even join the military on a non-functional basis, because just me being connected to you is going to somehow be an implicit endorsement of your behavior and give the false impression that we are somehow unified, when the reality is that ain't no Viet Cong never called me nigga, and I'm against this war, right? So I think that with Jay-Z, that's what right there separates Jay-Z from Muhammad Ali, because Jay-Z's doing what Ali refused to do. Also, Kaepernick is not Ali, because Kaepernick ain't doing nothing. Kaepernick's sitting there tweeting or retweeting whatever his friends say, and he's waiting to get a job so he can get his $126 million back. It doesn't mean I'm dissing these guys. It just means, feel how you're going to feel. Come to your own conclusions. Support what you want to support. If you don't want to support the NFL, then don't do it. But if you want to watch football games, I don't care. That's not going to keep anybody from. If you stop watching the NFL tomorrow, that's not going to stop black people from getting shot. Let's just be clear about that. You could never watch a football game for the rest of your life, and black people will continue to get shot at the same rate they were getting shot before. They can hire Kaepernick tomorrow and make him the star quarterback for the New England Patriots, replacing Tom Brady, and he can win 5 Super Bowls in a row, and it will still not stop black people from being shot. Let's make sure we're clear about that, okay? Can we agree on that? Can we at least agree on that point, right? Okay, so that's my thought on Kaepernick. Y'all done got me started. Now we're just talking. We had class, but now if y'all want to ask questions about anything else, you can. Let's see. In investing, have you ever heard the statement, it's not about your gains, it's about your losses? Example, how much money would you have on $100 if you gain 50%? $1.50 on that same 150. How much would you have if you lost 50%? $75. Share your thoughts. It's not about your gains, it's about your losses. I've never heard that statement. All I know is that people that invest consistently do better than those who don't. And I think sometimes we overthink the idea of trying to invest at the right time. Like a lot of people will say, oh, I'm not going to invest because stock prices are high. But based on history, no matter how high they are now, they're going to be higher in the future. So you should always buy now based on history. If you follow the blueprint, like if the next 100 years was just like the last 100 years, I would always say that the best time to buy is always now, because you don't know what the future is going to look like. But you do know one thing about the future, that the future is going to be better than the past. If the next 100 years is similar to the previous 100 years, but that's a tough guarantee. Wes says, do you suggest using your personal bank account to begin making investments or creating an independent investment account? Well, your investment account is money where you take it out of your bank account and you put it into the investment account. So then you have 2 separate accounts. Stash is really interesting because Stash actually gives you a debit card where you can use money from your debit card for, to like buy groceries and stuff like that. Let me see here. Jay-Z sent you a check, Doc. Nah, Jay-Z didn't send me no check. I wish he would. I wish Jay-Z would donate like $10 million to the Black business, or invest, not donate. Invest $10 million in the Black business school. And what I would do is I would actually build entrepreneurship centers in every hood in America, or at least in like maybe pick out the 20 largest cities and put investment in entrepreneurship centers in every one of those cities. And I would actually structure a curriculum to teach 100,000 Black people a year how to invest and how to own businesses and how to build wealth. I think that for something like that, for $5 million, I could literally put together transformative change for the entire Black community. I've already got the plan in my head, and we've got a lot of the money. Like, we're not broke, but it would be nice if we had a partner that had the kind of resources to really help us get things done. Because you have a lot of people out here that have a lot of money and they have big platforms, but they don't understand how to use those platforms to maximize the impact on the masses of Black people that are out here. I could teach people investing, entrepreneurship, stuff like that, probably in a couple of weeks, and what it would do is it would make a multi-trillion-dollar impact on the Black community, because within a generation, you would actually see Black people emerge to the front of the world in terms of economic growth and economic power. Like, it's not hard to do, but that's because that's what I do. However good Jay-Z is at rapping, I'm that good at finance and investing. Like, that's my thing. So let me see here. Joanna, he can't take every Black person on the planet. Be for real. You're not making real claims, but things you heard on TV. Okay, thanks. Let's see here. I'm looking at some of the comments. Let's see. Okay. Somebody says Dame's going to scream on you. Jay needs you involved. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know Jay-Z. How do you defend Jay-Z telling Jermaine Dupri not to work with the NFL? I can't defend that because I don't know that for sure. And I know that, if you go, like, if I went to your worst enemy and asked your worst enemy to tell me stories about you, they probably tell me things that were taken out of context. And so, I don't know what the reasoning is. I mean, I'd love to have Jay-Z come on the podcast so he can tell his own story. Same thing with Kaepernick, but Kaepernick won't talk. So, but I would love to have, one of those guys on so they can really explain their point of view, because I don't pretend to know what they're thinking. Christopher, when you talked about diversifying your portfolio in the market, should I buy different stocks every week? Yeah, I would for a while. And then they say when you're properly diversified, you'll own about 22 different stocks, 22 to 25, something like that. What are some good resources for technology education? There's a ton of stuff online. Udemy, UDEMY, udemy.com is really good for online learning. I think it's better than college. Like, if I had an 18-year-old that sat through a bunch of Udemy classes, that would be better than college, because they actually teach you things that help you make money. I saw the podcast with Nicole. It was excellent. She's a brilliant mind. Yes, Nicole Price is brilliant. She's actually going to be with us at the All Black National Convention if you want to meet her in person. That's going to be in Houston. It's our annual Black family reunion. It's a great gathering. So if you want to hang out with other Black people who think in the same way, just go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. And a reminder, this week, the 23rd, the weekend of the 23rd, I'll be in Atlanta. So you can go to drboyceatlanta.com to get tickets for that, drboyceatlanta.com. How do we collaborate to build systems to help the community secure the bag that actually elevates our community economically? The systems come down to the systems that we believe in comes down to a couple of things. One, in the Black Business School, we believe in the Black Core of Three. The Black Core of Three is that we believe Black people should educate our own children, create our own jobs, and support Black businesses. So if you start with that framework, then you say, well, what does it mean to educate your own children, create your own jobs, et cetera? Well, we have a standard educational curriculum, if you will, that you could put together, to give your child a complete education without having to go to outside sources to get it done. The 6 things a child should know to be prepared to do anything they want to do in the world are reading, writing, math, reading so they can consume volumes of information. So have your child read every day. Writing so they can communicate to other people, communicate their ideas to others effectively. And math so that when they do business and stuff like that, they won't get ripped off. And then also in business, the 3 pillars of wealth, which are stock market investing, real estate, and entrepreneurship. Learn those 3 things each, very well. Spend maybe 1,000 hours of training on real estate and entrepreneurship. But investing in the stock market doesn't take long. You could actually learn that in about, you can learn that in about 30 minutes, actually. Believe it or not, you really can. And then the last one is Black history. Black history is very important because the biggest reason that Black people fail and struggle and have low self-esteem is because we don't know who we are. So we need to learn, who was it? I forgot the brother that, y'all got to help me, tell me who made this quote. I feel bad that I can't, John Heinrich Clark, I believe. He said that if your history starts from slavery, then everything else looks like progress. So he said, if you start your history from slavery, everything looks like you've been going uphill ever since, like you made all this progress. But if we start from, ancient Kemet, or go back 20,000 years when we were here, and then we dipped here and went back to here, we will realize that we're here when we really should be up here, right? So we haven't had progress. We've actually gone down. So ultimately, those are the 7 pieces. When I design a curriculum, when I build schools around the country, which that's what I'm going to do over time, those would be the 7 things I'm going to piece together. And the key thing is that if you drill a young child on those 7 areas, sorry, I did like this. I meant to say this. Sorry. If you drill a child on those 7 areas, then you get somebody that's capable to go out into the world and do whatever they want to do. Like if they want to be a doctor, they just go to medical school and they just read a bunch of books because they can read really well and they can consume information, they can write, they can do the math. They want to be a lawyer. Well, all law school is reading a bunch of books and writing a bunch of briefs, so they can do all that, right? So, but that foundation, a solid foundation, is what our children don't have, and that's why our children can't compete with white kids, Swedish kids, Chinese kids, Indian kids, because you don't value education. You value all the other crap, but you do not value education. And y'all got to change that as a community. We all got to change that. 2 more questions. Let's see here. Somebody says, anybody want to start an investment club? Wes, put your email address in here and I'll share it, and people can email you if they want to join the club with you. So you got about 1 minute to put it in there before we're about to bounce out, because she just came home and I'm gonna go upstairs and eat dinner. What's your definition of a diverse portfolio? Diverse means basically that all your eggs are not in one basket. And also diverse means that theoretically, on average, it's 20 to 25 different stocks, but you also want to diversify not just across the stock market, but also across different types of investments. So you don't want to have all your money in the stock market. You don't want to have all your money in real estate. You don't want to have all your money in entrepreneurship. You want to have a little money in all those areas over time. So you spread it out so that when economic calamities occur, you're not going to lose everything. So when an athlete says, oh my God, my investment advisor lost all my money, I made $100 million, now I'm broke, I immediately know that they didn't invest right. Because if they invested the right way, then there's no way you could lose everything. It wouldn't make any sense. Okay, so all right, so let me share the Wes popped in his email address just like I asked. So good job, man. Good job. Okay, so Wes's email address, if you want to form an investment club with Wes, so just know Wes. I think you're about to get quite a few emails. His name is Wes Dubose, D-U-B-O-S-E, D-U-B-O-S-E, Wes, W-E-S, D-U-B-O-S-E. His email address is wdubose, W-D-U-B-O-S-E, 6492@gmail.com. That's wdubose 6492@gmail.com. wdubose 6492@gmail.com. That's Dubose is spelled D-U-B-O-S-E. Okay, so I said it about 8 times. So if you didn't get it by now, then you can't join the investment club because you got to learn how to write faster. All right. So anyway, guys, I'm out of here. I hope that we had a lot of fun today. And once again, that question about Kaepernick and Jay-Z was a lot of fun to answer, but just know I don't pretend like I'm the authority on these things. And if you're mad because you feel like I dissed your hero or something like that, don't get mad. Just critically think. Just accept the idea that we can all agree to disagree. And this is a place for the exchange of intelligent ideas. This is not a place for us to feel like we have a monopoly on the truth. Okay, so I don't have a monopoly on the truth. I'm just telling you what I see from my point of view. And also at the end of the day, those guys are millionaires. Kaepernick is a multi-millionaire, and he ain't even 30 years old yet, I don't think. Maybe he's 31 now. I don't know. Jay-Z is a billionaire. Are you a billionaire? If the answer is no, then get your money right. Get your game tight. Take care of your family. Don't be worrying about those people. I'm telling you, I spend time around celebrities. A lot of them don't care anything about what's happening with you and your kids. Go build something of your own, and don't be obsessed with what celebrities are doing. These people do not matter. I do not matter. The only extent to which I matter for you is if I can give you something of value that you can take home and use to build the empire in your house. Your house is your castle. My house right here, this is my castle. I'm the king of this. So I really only care so much about what Jay-Z and Kaepernick are doing because I'm too busy running my empire over here. So run your empire, build for your family, prepare for the next generation because life is short. You're going to be dead soon. We're all going to die, within the next 30, 40 years, I'm sure, maybe 50 years, 80 years, I don't know. And you can have a massive impact on future generations, but do not let them distract you with the nonsense. That's all entertainment. Their lives have nothing to do with yours. Okay. So go build something for your family. You can do it. You can do it. All right. I'm out of here, guys. Once again, if you want to come hang out in Atlanta, go to drboyceatlanta.com. If you want to check out the financial workbooks, you can go to financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com. Also books like Powernomics, stuff like that. If you want to get books like this for your library, just go to drboycebooks.com. That's drboycebooks.com. We have tons of books like these that you can put in your library to build your own university, educate your kids your way. That's what I advocate for. That's what I believe will make you successful. So take care, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Love you. Peace.